just fall from the mouth.
This is going to be fun, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, help me out. Can someone please say, "Ah, yeah"? Oh, yeah. No, I need you to do it all together and like you really mean it. Somebody say, "Ah, yeah"? Oh, yeah. Wicked. Someone say, "Oh my gosh"? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can you say, "Whoop, whoop"? Yeah, I've got you now. I've got you. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, how you guys doing? You okay? You feeling nice? You feeling good? It's nice to see you. My name is Shlomo, and I'd love to tell you a story all about how I became a beatboxer, then a live looper, and most recently, a fully fledged technologist, having created my own software to further my creative needs. Now, let me start at the beginning. This is a loop station. A loop station is a simple machine that can record and loop. Oh, no, not that. It can record and loop any audio, any audio, any audio, any audio. This is the World Loop Station Championships, the finals of the first ever World Loop Station Championships in Los Angeles. And I entered this for a little bit of fun, maybe to meet some other looping geeks. But here I am standing on stage at the World Finals, heart pulsing, pulse racing. Waiting to find out who had won. That part of the story has been slightly ruined because Wells told you the answer, but please don't worry. Don't worry, I love you. We're going to go. I feel like I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, so let's go from the beginning of the story. I never planned as a child to be a beatboxer. For me, it was just a way of practicing the rhythms for my real dream, which was to be a jazz drummer. But I soon learned as a child that beatboxing not only would impress my friends, it could also get me free food at the chip shop. You simply just ask very politely if you can have free chips, if you can make the person's jaw drop, and chips, please. So it didn't take me long to realize beatboxing was where my heart lied. I soon became obsessed with both beatboxing and its culture that surrounded it. Now this is the international hip-hop group Foreign Beggars, and by the age of 19 I found myself touring the world's most sweaty hip-hop clubs with these guys, and every night they'd bring me out on stage and I'd come out and perform a medley of my favorite hip-hop beatbox styles, like a music by famous people like, you know, Snoop Dogg and Jay-Z, like.
Is it worth it? Can I work it? Put your band down, but I'm reverse. Is it worth it? Can I work it? Put your bang down, but I'm reverse it. Reverse it. Reverse it.
Thank you. Thank you. So, whilst I was having a brilliant time, I never really saw beatboxing as anything other than just basically showing off, impressing people, and having fun. Until one day I got a phone call from the Icelandic singer Björk asking if I could record some beatboxing for her all-vocal album. Now, what blew my mind about working with Björk she wasn't really impressed by the whole kind of novelty gimmick side of beatboxing. All she really cared about was the sound it made. She just saw it as music and a kind of valid form of creative composition. And that kind of blew my mind. It made me think, hang on a minute, maybe I should take this a little bit more seriously. Instead of taking all my energy copying famous beats and trying to impress people, what about if I kind of made some music of my own using beatboxing, and I decided to go and buy myself a loop station. I quickly became completely and utterly obsessed. I found all the things this machine could do and all the things it wasn't supposed to do. I geeked out on all the little glitches and tried to turn them into features so that I could make a sound that other people weren't making yet. And the machine took me around the world, which leads me back to the World Loop Station Championships. As we heard earlier, I did win. Woohoo! But what changed everything was that all of a sudden tech companies started sending me equipment to try out. All the latest kit got sent to me, and I became completely obsessed. I just kept wanting more, more power, more effects, more machines, and it soon became a technical mess. This is a technical mess. If you have too many machines plugged in, they start to fight with each other, and I ended up having like time delays and synchronization issues, and the sound quality would degrade every time you plug in yet another machine. And I kind of struggled with this for years, but I eventually decided, I had the courage, quite recently really, to say, I'm going to throw this all away and I'm going to start again from scratch. This time, I need to make this beast myself, and to do that, I really need to learn how to make my own customized software instrument. Now, this is Max for Live. Max for Live is a programming language, a visual language aimed at musicians. And with Max for Live, you can build anything you like. You can make instruments, synthesizers, effects, sequencers, visuals. If you can imagine something, you can pretty much build it using Max for Live. And I've never coded any software before. I've never been anywhere near programming. So about 6 months ago, I thought, I'm going to try. I'm going to give this a go. I Googled Max for Live, how to learn Max for Live. The first thing I loaded up says, it only takes about 100 to 200 hours to learn enough basics of Max for Live. I was like, 200 hours? This isn't going to work. And I just felt like the first few weeks were just banging my head against the laptop. I could not make it make any sound at all. After a while, I started to make a little bit of progress, and I became completely obsessed. I took a flight to Mexico, and I had 10 hours of blissfully uninterrupted coding time, whilst the guy next to me watched 5 movies, right? I was coding my face off. And I basically had a bit of a creative breakthrough and created the basis of the machine that I'm using right now. This is my new beauty. She's in beta right now, and this is only the second time she's been out in public. She hasn't got a name yet. Has anyone got any suggestions of the name for my beta beauty? Utopia? That's interesting. I might think about that one, though. So I'll show you how it works. This thing here is called Push 2. Push 2 is a MIDI controller, a very powerful one, and I'm using it as my main way of interacting with the computer. And I've hacked into Push 2 so that I can use it with my customized software, along with these, which are like USB pad controllers. And what I've done is I've created a series of software devices to emulate all the hardware that I used to use, the loop stations, effects units, compressors, reverbs, all the things I used to use, I've now made using software. Why would you want to do that, you might ask? Well, whilst those hardware machines are extremely complex and powerful, despite the odd technical problem, they were designed by somebody else. So no matter how powerful they are, there's always going to be limitations because that person thinks in a different way to me. So what's different now is this is completely adaptable. I've got lots and lots of buttons on these controllers, and I can create anything to go with any of those buttons. For example, let me see, I really wanted to have a button that would grab the most recent incoming audio and kind of turn it into an instantly playable software instrument. So I'm going to need your help here. I need you to all say something like, hello, Shlomo! That's you guys. Thank you. All of a sudden it's really exciting. There's new ways I can make music. If I have an idea, I can make it happen using the machine. Because before I'd have several different hardware machines all plugged into each other, and every single one of them would bring its own like side effects and messiness to the sound. So now in theory I have this all-in-one kind of digital beast, which in theory, I keep saying in theory, won't fight with itself, but we'll see about that. Now, one thing I wanted to create was a bank of 8 buttons which could very quickly make 8 samples of any audio. I had some earlier from you lot. That's you guys, sounding quite Sunday. Oh my gosh! You sound like you're having a brilliant day. So I'm wondering if you could help me again. Let me see. I need you to sing for me. Do you feel like singing, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. I said, do you feel like singing, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. Okay, repeat after me. Hey, yeah, yeah, hey. No, like, I know it's early in the morning, but come on, sit yourself up straight, get some air in your lungs, ready? Hey, yeah, yeah, hey. Can you do one? Can you go like this? Go. Good. Can you go? I'm. One more. On my own. Go. This is great. I'm going to hopefully use these in a minute, all being well. So thank you so much. I've got these lovely noises here now. That's my favourite. So there's one more piece of hardware that I'm kind of clinging onto, which is this guy here. It's a vocal synth pedal, and I just really love the sound it makes. I'm going to show you. Let's start. I just love the sound it makes. You know, I could probably spend like 3 weeks creating my own version of that pedal, but actually I probably will. So as you can see, this is kind of a constantly evolving process. There has been a slight dark side to all this, which is that learning to code did become somewhat of a sleepless obsession. It's a bit of a mammoth task to try and kind of recreate these machines that have taken the biggest names in musical innovation decades to perfect. I'm trying to learn myself how to make them. And to be honest, it starts to take over your whole brain. You end up thinking and dreaming in code, and it essentially took over my whole life. And I liked it. What I'm going to try and do for you is just put together the things we've created there, if that's okay with you. So we've got this little line from earlier. Let's see what I can do with it.
I've made up a little song for you. It's called New Horizons. It goes like this. Another day has come. I never felt quite like this. Fly away from home. Don't know where I'll be tonight. He drove me out to King's Cross Station with a tearful smile. Did not hesitate at all. New rain washed my face. Whole life in one suitcase. Ready to go.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for yourselves for giving me that beautiful sound to play with. Round of applause for yourselves, please. Come on. Thank you so much. So my machine is still nowhere near finished. In fact, the code is pretty much broken. Like, there's a little debug window which pops up every time there's an error, and during that performance it was going wild. So there's still lots of work to do, but when is anything creative ever finished? As Picasso once said, to finish a painting is to kill it, to rid it of its soul for both the painter and the picture. Thank you very much.